Hi, my name is Michelle Danko, and I'm going to be doing a presentation of an observation of a child in terms of Yuri Bronhenfenner's bioecological model. I will cover all 6 sections required and discuss how they overlap and interact with each other as it relates to my subject's life. Just a brief overview of Yuri Bronhenfenner's theory is that he believed that mothers, fathers, and family are important, but that much more than this is involved in children's development. There are 6 key systems in his model. We will begin with an overview of my subject and what he labels as the individual in the middle of the model. Tessa is my 9-year-old daughter. There she is. And tall for her age at 5 feet 1 inches. But both her parents are also tall, so her polygenic inheritance resulted in her phenotypic characteristic of being tall. She is healthy, as I observed on the day of the observation, and can attest to. She lives in a home with her mom and dad, her older brother by 2 years, and older half-brother. She also has 2 older half-sisters not living in the home. Tessa is the youngest, which is pertinent to address because according to our textbook, the family systems approach says that one must understand how each relationship in the family influences the family as a whole, but I will touch more on that in the family section. In terms of Tessa's physical development and health, the child swam and jumped on the trampoline for intervals throughout the day during my observation, and when asked directly what she thinks is appropriate for physical activity, she responded that hanging out with her friends doing the activities mentioned is appropriate. The milestones for gross motor development, according to our textbook, while not relevant to the participant or observed during observation, and included things like increased kicking and throwing distance and running speed, were clearly achieved by Tessa. On the day of observation, I observed her also practicing her splits jump on the trampoline because she is also in a hip-hop dance class and gymnastics. This is relevant because she fits into the 52% of girls that are involved in organized sports at this age. As for fine motor skills, milestones according to the textbook, Tessa can tie her shoes. I've never seen her weave a rug. She does try to write in cursive even though she hasn't been directly taught how to do so, and I directly observed her writing in her workbooks and creating slime on the day of observation. Moving on to health and nutrition, I came downstairs at the start of the observation day to Tessa eating a bowl of Lucky Charms while watching YouTube on my phone. I asked her if she wanted scrambled eggs and she said yes. When offered a tortilla and avocado, she declined. And after an hour later, she made herself a bowl of top ramen and forgot about it in the microwave, so it was never eaten. It is important to note that it is in middle childhood when children first learn to use memory strategies such as rehearsal, organization, and elaboration. But I'm pretty sure Tessa was just too engrossed in watching YouTube and not actually hungry when she forgot about her ramen. While she is able to make choices for herself throughout the day, her mother makes a healthy meal for dinner in which everyone sits down at the table and eats together. Fruits are always within reach for an easy snack. Sodas are not available, but there are, however, easy to prepare food so that Tessa can help herself, which she is capable of doing. I did observe this on the day of observation, and when asked what she thought a healthy meal was, she replied salad, so at least she knows the value of vegetables. Now to talk about sleep. On the day of the observation, Tessa went to bed at 10 p.m. and woke up at 10 a.m. I would say that getting 12 hours of sleep is enough for sure. Our textbook says that it is during middle childhood that not getting enough sleep becomes more common. I would agree with this, but because it is summertime, she is not having to get up early for school. And when I asked Tessa about how much sleep she gets, she said it depends on how tired she is. Because she doesn't have a strict bedtime right now, she sometimes stays awake late, which is fine with me because it is summertime and I feel it is a time that schedules can be varied. I directly observed this on the day of observation. Jumping right in to talk about cognitive development now, according to Piaget, Tessa would be in the concrete operational stage, which means that she is capable of using mental operations, but only in concrete, immediate experience, and has a difficult time thinking hypothetically. To prove this, I asked her to describe God to me on the day of observation, and she replied that he is an old, bald guy with a long white beard who was nice and loving and caring. But when asked about Santa Claus, she expressed her doubts and loves to tell the joke. Who is Santa Claus? Who? Yo mama. This confirms that she is moving towards the formal operational stage in some regards, according to Piaget. And as for our culture being passed down to Tessa, her daily life includes both doing chores and doing her homework before she is able to do what she wants to do for recreation. My expectations for Tessa are high in that I expect her to try her best in schoolwork to understand the material. According to the textbook, a parent's involvement in their children's education tends to reflect their overall parenting style. I will talk more about parenting style later. I observed this on this day Tessa working on her math, reading, religion, and grammar workbooks, along with her online Khan Academy. And at night we read one chapter of a chosen book together. On the day of observation, we read chapter 6 of Charlotte's Web. I also observed Tessa doing her daily chores of taking out the trash and picking up the dog poop and changing the cat litter. In this way, she learns that she needs to do her part to support our family, which are collectivistic values, and she needs to do her part to achieve in her schoolwork, which correlates to our American individualistic values of placing value on individual success. Let's now talk about emotions, self, and identity. Tessa describes herself as being nice, happy, and bored. This qualifies as her having high global self-esteem, according to the textbook. Basically, she generally feels positive about herself. And in agreement with our textbook, because our American culture tends to support an independent and individualistic self, I greatly encourage positive reflection about herself. But I can also see how in our American culture that children learn to expect frequent praise and do suffer more when criticism is given. She says that she has high self-esteem, but it hurts her feelings when her friends leave her out. I observed this on the day of observation. Her friends declined to play with her, and she could hear them outside having fun without her, which made her sad and she cried. Tessa's identity at this age greatly revolves around spending time with her friends who share the same interests as her. Which leads us to the next section of family, peers, friends, and media, and finally into Bronhen-Fenner's second key system, the microsystem. I already spoke on Tessa's friend situation, and it is a strained one some days. And because we're in semi-quarantine due to the coronavirus pandemic, we also have limited access to having other friends over. But Tessa greatly values her friendships with peers and says they are very important to her. This is typical, as her textbook says that peers take on a notable importance during adolescence. Tessa is therefore spending more time with family and siblings. Tessa is around her brothers for a significant portion of the day, and as the textbook states, sibling conflict peaks during middle childhood. I observed this on the day of observation as Tessa complained to me that her brother was being mean to her. I get to observe this daily, as our family structure has changed from dual earner, both of Tessa's parents working, to her mom getting to stay home and be with her all day due to being laid off from work. This has been a blessing for Tessa's mom, but Tessa now has to endure a one-on-one approach to schoolwork, where much progress is happening every day. On this day of observation, Tessa was able to tell if fractions with different denominators were equal or not. Tessa's dad is home from work early enough in the day to play with Tessa, which on this day of observation was quality time in the pool with her. Tessa's dad has more an approaching authoritarian parenting style, as her mom has a more permissive to authoritative parenting style. The two styles conflict when Tessa talks back to dad or something along those lines, which happened on the day of observation. Mom believed that some conversation should take place in order to express disapproval of said offense in explicable terms. Dad conformed when amends were made later in the day by talking to Tessa, which Mom appreciated. Grandparents do not live here, but visit a few times a year, and Tessa loves to hang out with them. Now to speak about the media's influence on Tessa. She does not have a phone, but does have access to her mom's phone. She watches quite a bit of YouTube, plays Minecraft, and uploads TikTok videos of herself doing dances with current music and moves she has learned online. Because dance is a big part of her life, this is one of the forms of social media I allow. However, she has a private account and cannot be friends with anyone who she does not know in real life, and all of this is on my phone, which I have complete access to. This is a way in which she is part of the global community. I'm going to use the standout section to demonstrate how each of Bronhen-Fenner's systems correlates to Tessa's life. Tessa is the individual in the center of the chart. Her microsystem includes her family, friends, and immediate environment, which is our home, but it also includes her teachers and coaches. Children get to make choices here in who their friends are. The meosystem here is how her microsystem interacts with the exosystem. Basically, the meosystem is like a bridge to how she interacts with those outside her microsystem. For example, the exosystem includes her school or church or media, places outside her microsystem, and how they affect her. If I had an interaction with one of Tessa's friends' parents in order to express how their unfair treatment of Tessa was affecting Tessa, that would be my use of her meosystem. The macrosystem here encompasses Tessa's cultural beliefs. These include how she feels about her upbringing, her beliefs about God, and also her belief that it is important to do schoolwork and chores when you are part of a family as a contribution. And the chrono system is that it is currently the year 2020, and we are in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, which has interrupted her school year, changed her family dynamic, and lessened her time with friends. This has been an interesting time for sure. In conclusion, I want to state that the reason I like Bronhenfenner's theory is that it shows just how interwoven the effects of the environment are on the development of a child. It truly depicts that it takes a village to raise a child. Thank you.